What's up, everybody? Welcome to this month's episode of Coffee and Analytics, where we're going to talk about AI and how we can supercharge your franchise content marketing. Appreciate all of you watching, everybody that's watching live, anybody that's watching in the future. Appreciate you. Happy New Year as well. Before we get started, just like every time that I do this, use the comments. If you have questions, comments, concerns, address them. I will actually make sure to address them. You address them in the comments, and we'll run with it. Also, before we get going, if you haven't already registered, go check out 1851francamp.com. We have 4 masterminds this year. Very excited about the formula, workbook, networking, structure on solving your issues. We have Dallas in March. We have New Jersey in June. We have Chicago in September, and we have Miami in December. So Dallas is starting to fill up pretty nicely. We'd love to have you be a part of that in March. Again, go to 1851francamp.com to get registered. So I'm going to do live demo today so I can show you how the structure works, but I'm going to kind of walk you through how I get to the starting point. Now, let me put a caveat on here. I am definitely not an expert in this. I think we all learn AI as we go and we continue to use it. But there are some very, very cool tools and very basic tools that I'm going to put at the forefront so that if you choose to use them, you can. And in fact, I've shown them to several people and very basic, but it works very well. And we'll go over that as we crank through this today. See, comments are pouring in. Happy New Year. Look at that. I'm going to put all these comments in there. Michelle, Happy New Year. Richard, Happy New Year. Jerome, Happy New Year. Thanks for joining. Okay. So in 2006 and 2007, I played around with social media. This is a long time ago, almost 20 years ago. What I was fascinated with social at that point, which will carry into our conversation today, was that here I could message people that I had no relationship with and tell them a piece of information that I wanted them to interact with. And so very early on, what I was doing, there was a brand called eGizmos out of Michigan. And I remember I set it up, first name eGizmos, last name franchise, MySpace, Friendster, Facebook in the early stages. And I would reach out to people that I thought would be franchise matches, and I would reach out to people who I thought could be customers. And so when I'm trying to drive both of those back to the franchise, I was like, okay, here's the pathway to winning. Now, when I launched what eventually, or at that point was called No Limit Media Consulting, focus heavily on the word social, because social was the component of media that I felt had not evolved yet or had not hit the business side. And so if all of you right now, you go onto your branded footprints and you say, do we do social media or do we do media? Majority of you would say it's media. It's like buy my brand or buy my product or look at my product. And so we're missing this word social. So if I want to use AI to help me take my content, add a social component to it and distribute it, that's what we're going to go through today. So again, to frame things, content marketing, I think the content side is good. The marketing side is missing. And social media, the media side is good. The social is missing. So when we take social and content and put them together and use AI to help us distribute this message, then the hope is we'll get in front of more people who can potentially interact or interface with our brand. Every time one of you posts on social, you're doing it for a reason. Let's just say you're doing it personally. You're doing it to ignite a like or a comment of someone saying, oh, your family's so cute, or boy, you look so great, you lost so much weight. Whatever the reason is, there's a reason we post. We post on LinkedIn. We want those interactions. If you don't get interactions, there's two reasons why. One is zero reach. We could post till we're blue in the face. All of these platforms are in the business of making money. So if they're not making money off of your post, then they're not going to give it momentum. And so the currency when it comes to social posts ends up being the organic reach, and organic reach continues to climb the more that people communicate or interact with it. So again, this is to set the framework that most of you have some sort of content that you use as a part of your marketing toolkit. And most of you have this content that goes in the woods and just falls. And so this is our opportunity to lift up those stories and again, use AI to push it forward. So using AI to impact content marketing. We can all create content. We create posts about our family on Facebook, our careers on LinkedIn, our short thoughts on X, and our favorite reels on Instagram. We build content and storytelling every day as humans. Many of our businesses also create content coordinated through a calendar or some sort of planned posting. But the challenge is the twofold. It's the zero reach and that the trees are falling in the woods. So now, how can we put our content to work? And this is where I'm going to show you how, again, very basic tool, and there's better ones out there. But how Google Gemini can work to help you lift this up. So let me add this to the screen. Again, ask questions as we go. So I'm going to share with you, I was playing with this a little bit today, showing one of my teammates how this works. But I'll show you here on 1851. We have this story, how to leverage technology in franchise management. And so what I had prompted Google Gemini to do, I said, write a LinkedIn promotional post for this story. I put the story on here. And then this is what it produced. So tech-powered franchising, drive efficiency and growth. Want to unlock the power of technology for your franchise? This article explores here's why. And so here's some takeaways from it. And so then I took this and I posted it onto social. Then just to show you how some of these things work, and I'm gonna do one in real time so you can see how this gets put together. I said, what is 1851 Fran Camp? Just to see how does it go and pull it out there. And it said, this is an article about Fran Camp, and it gave me a little bit of details on it. Then I was just messing around with it. I said, can you give me insights into the pros and cons of Buffalo Wild Wings franchising? It gave me an article, and so this article is about Buffalo Wild Wings franchise opportunities. It explains what it is. So I'm going to stop there because I'm showing you some of these tools. Again, I'm going to do a live one here in a second. But I'm showing you, like, I'm using this as a research tool. So if I'm you, I also go into Google Gemini, and I also plug in my franchise website, and I say, when someone lands on the site, what are the key takeaways from the site? And it'll give you an insight to say, is my site actually selling my franchise the right way? Then, again, going down a rabbit hole, and you can see how these prompts are starting to connect. I said, can you give me a comparison of 20 chicken wing franchises with investment cost, total locations open, and the franchise website? And I'm thinking, okay, I'm a franchise buyer. How can I use Google Gemini to help support me? And again, there's two things that I'm trying to do here. I'm putting on the lens of the franchise buyer because all of you franchisors on this call, you want the franchise buyer to get engaged with your business. But also, I want to see what does it report back to make sure that it's accurate. So Google Gemini said it's tricky to give precise financial figures for franchises, which feels like there's some franchise attorney that is behind the scenes, like you put in a prompt on Gemini and the franchise attorney appears. They often are based on location, store size, and other factors. Genius point, by the way, something that we should talk about more. However, I can provide you with a table comparing 20 popular chicken wing franchises, including the estimated investment ranges and links to their franchise websites where you can find more detailed information. And so then it prompted, and it gave me the total locations, the investment range, if it could find the franchise URL. You see, it did pretty well. It gave me a whole list of franchise brands with a little bit more details on it. So the point is, like, these are where the research capabilities of AI, I believe, are going to continue to have tremendous impact in franchising. Can it eliminate the franchise qualifier? Parts of it. Can it eliminate the franchise broker? Parts of it, yeah, because a lot of buyers land with a franchise broker or consultant and say, "Hey, educate me on franchising." I could do this here. Can you give me 10 key educational bullet points about what franchising is and why it could be a good fit for my next career decision? Proven business model, brand recognition, comprehensive training, reduces risk. Well, not risk-free. Franchising offers a lower. Okay. So, and again, I'm doing this fast to give you a sense of where, if I want to understand what is franchising, I can start asking or prompting questions. And Gemini is not necessarily the best tool out there. It's owned by Google, but it gives you a sense of how this thing can start communicating. And so, like, you think about how we communicate as humans. Now I'm asking it to communicate on my behalf. I'm talking with it. I can even say, "Can you give me 5 tips on how to treat my wife better?" Sure, some of you just laughed at that. Oh, look at that. It's wonderful that you're looking for ways to improve your relationship with your wife. Here are 5 tips. The point is, like, this is going to be part of the future of where content goes. In my opinion, Google won't be gone in 5 years, but the way that a Google search works could be gone in 5 years. What are the best chicken franchises? So that didn't give me any AI at the top. Can you tell me what Fran Camp is? Nothing yet. And so you can see, like, it's not there, but as the machine learning continues to learn, it's going to continue to change the way we get information. So I don't think Google is going to be gone in 5 years. I think it's going to transform. And the other topic that we've been talking a lot about internally is that the way that content finds you is going to evolve. So, and this is why I'm obviously very, very bought into the 1851 model, but the storytelling element on how it fits into AI and how it finds the right buyers in the right communities is going to be really, 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 really important for understanding, like, how does your franchise marketing mix work today? If we're building our marketing mix, we might go content, website, PR, Google ads, retargeting, Facebook ads, LinkedIn. In the future, AI is going to have to be a component of it. And how do we take content and distribute it to people where they are? That's going to be a little bit different. If I can say things that I bought this week, listening. I did not write this. I promise you I didn't write it, but my dog's been itching his ears like crazy. I didn't Google it. I don't know how it found it. Maybe it's in my brain. But now my Facebook feed was full of, like, the benefits of probiotics for dogs and how it corrects itching. Maybe my dog was Googling it. So these ads in written form and video form find me, continue to push me, and eventually I bought a subscription to it. I'm going to take off this little icon on the bottom so you can see me. There we go. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to do a live feed. See, there's a few questions in there. I'll jump into you guys in a second. Let me show you content marketing here real quick. So let's go here. I'm going to take this story. Actually, I can take a new one. I've done this in the article. So we're going to take this one, top 20 brands to buy in 2025. Really a New Year's story. And we're going to go to Gemini. Let's say this is a story on your brand page. Actually, I'm going to change that. Let's go to, as I saw Richard and Jorgen, you guys are on here. Let's go to the news, and we'll take this story. And we are going to create a promotional post for Christy Tyler's story. I'll just do this live. So can you write a LinkedIn promotional post about this article? And so what this does is it's going to give me a baseline that I'm able to now hopefully put to work. If Gemini works, there we go. Okay, so it gave me this, and it has my little hashtags in it. So Christy Taylor, the former restaurant industry professional turned stay-at-home mom. Awesome story. She is now gearing up to introduce USA Challenge to Woodstock with the grand opening of USA Ninja on January 7th. Christy is ready to inspire kids. Let's just double check that. January 7th in Woodstock. It pulled it correctly. Mother's 2 girls who are involved in sport. Tyler is using her experience, passion, child development, and entrepreneurial spirit to launch this exciting venue with some keywords linked to the story. Insert here. I can ask Gemini, can you rewrite this using emojis just to beef it up a bit? There we go. So if I wanted to like add a little bit of flavor to it. So it's a very easy way. Now I have content. So what would I do with this content? I would copy it. I'd go into my LinkedIn. I would go to create a post. I would go here. I would post. I would obviously clean up some of the spacing. And then I would insert the article so it links here, and then I have a post. And so this at a very basic standpoint, obviously I'm using hashtags to organize where I want to get it in front of, and I'm starting to promote it to this audience, okay? But what it did is it made a tree that fell in the woods, for argument's sake. Here's this article on the site. I need to increase the audience against it, and I'm using AI to do so. Now, I can continue to play around with this. How could I get this story in front of more franchise buyers? Let's see what it says. I have no idea what it's going to say. Targeted social ads, platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. So we just posted this. Targeting parents in Woodstock, Georgia and surrounding areas, interest in children's activities, fitness, and after-school programs, ad content, use engaging visuals. We talked about the importance of getting in front of the right people proactively. Photos, videos, kids enjoying the course, highlight the grand opening date and our stories of local mompreneur, include a clear call to action, local partnerships, public relations and media outreach, grand opening event, kind of marketing. So that's the cool part about this. Like if you want to start creating a game plan, now if I'm like, okay, we're gonna do PR, it's not gonna necessarily solve the need to get the message out there to the media in this format. Yeah, you still need people to do this. But if I said, let's say, can you turn this into a media pitch for pitching local Woodstock reporters? Local mom brings American Ninja Warrior style fitness challenge to kids. I mean, pretty good. So just how it starts linking this together. You can see this in the way that hiring is. If I go to LinkedIn, let me go back here. It's usually, we'll just discard this for now. No more sales messages. Typically, if you look at the LinkedIn news, you'll find something about AI or job confidence, something that's happening with hiring. But you look at like Salesforce, you look at the top hires. Here, I can show you this article that I found fascinating. I know you're watching me do this all in real time. Come on. This is the 25 fastest growing jobs. What you'll see is AI like crazy at the top. So let's go to the top here. Come on. No sales messages. No sales messages while I'm doing podcasts. Come on. All right. When that loads, I'll show you. But AI is at the top. There we go. So artificial intelligence engineer, it's not saying we're getting rid of engineers. We're finding human beings that can actually interact with that content. Artificial intelligent consultant, so obviously in this scenario, I'm using AI to speed up my process to have a media pitch and a post for my content marketing, and to gain ideas if I'm going to get more franchisees, what should I do with this article? But I still have to go execute some of those things. But you can see just how this stuff starts working. So it's like content marketing and AI. So we're going to create a series of posts. We're going to target our audience. We're going to create a strong call to action. We might do a webinar. And this is all things that I asked AI to offer up. We might do an email marketing campaign, paid advertising campaign, content syndication. And so then if you read the article that's accompanying this, I go through all of the different prompts that I went through to take an article all the way through to the bottom line. The whole point of this, again, is to say, to make it very simple, you all have content that you have created. If it's on a blog, if it's in a news article, we could take, I'm going to use USA Ninja Challenge again. Ninja Challenge franchise, we'll click on news. Let's see, expands Chesapeake. So here we go. We're going to take this article in the Daily Press, a PR article, and say, can you write a promotional LinkedIn promotional post about this article? So the article ran. Right now, it's a tree that fell in the woods. We're going to take this story. It's going to be able to read it, of course. But we're going to, there we go. Oh, I'm not able to access that website. Well, content not available because of paywall. All right. Maybe not in that scenario, but we can take the article. We're going to have it write a LinkedIn promotional post. The USA Ninja Challenge team is then going to post it. I'll go back to the 1851 one. So yeah, it's a paid site. We'll just take this one. And so we got the promotional post. Can you write a email newsletter promotion for this article? So we're going to take this article. Now we're going to have it write an email blast. It's your inner entrepreneur. It wrote me a whole blast. And now I can post. Can you turn this into 5 additional email newsletter posts? And again, like I'm showing you how we're going to use AI. Go email 2. Breaking it down. I'm going to keep going. And so now I'm using AI to get me in front of it. Not going to go send the email campaign for me, but it just built a whole bunch of emails that I'm able to now use. Now, I would encourage all of you to go back and edit this stuff. Again, it's not perfect. It gives you a good baseline or good understanding of what you can do with these things, but then you have to go put it to work. If you really want to have some fun, everybody that's watching, go connect with Sharon Powles, our CEO, on LinkedIn. And this post is really trippy. But you look, what's crazy, this is a clone of Sharon Powles. This is not the real Sharon Powles. And it sounds like her and it talks like her. And it wrote a script for her. And so you can see, like, this is crazy. Sharon creating video content off of Sharon taking a photo or a small video of herself and recognizing the voice and then putting it to work. And so when you start really playing through this, it's not that it's going to remove us as humans. It's going to supplement our efforts and give us the tools to be able to do some really cool things with. Richard, you said, is there a correlation with using Gemini and advertising with Google? Great question. As crazy as this is, let's go to Gemini. Is there any connection between what we put in Gemini and Google Ads? Yes, there's a definitive connection between what you put in Gemini and how it can be used to enhance your ads. I mean, this is going to give more tips, but yeah, I mean, like there should be. And if you look at the top, like if you go down a path where you Google something and AI is delivering you answers at the top of a Google search, you can see the way that it's positioning things. I think it's very, very important to notice that, especially when it relates back to how people search for your brand and search for your franchise. They'll be used tremendously. Miguel, you said, is there reason you prefer Gemini over Chat GPT or Perplexity? Sharon, big Perplexity fan. And I think Perplexity is tremendous. The reason I chose Gemini is it's such a simple, basic tool that for anybody that's getting involved with it, you can use it. But Perplexity is fantastic. Chat GPT is also awesome. And you can go down the extensions of figuring out your tech stack. I think it's going to be very important for franchisors to build out your tech stack, including AI, and at the very least, start thinking about how you can use it to support your franchisees. How can a franchisor use AI to support franchisees in their marketing? I'm just going to pop that in here real quick. I can share that answer. Franchisors can leverage AI in several ways: personal and local marketing, content creation and automation, performance tracking and optimization. So when you go down the rabbit hole and start playing around with these things, you're going to win. At the very, 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 very least, and this is primarily for our 1851 audience, every time we have an article on 1851 that addresses your brand, pop it into one of these tools, ask it to create a promotional piece for LinkedIn and Facebook, post it on your audiences. The reality is all of our next franchisees are 1 degree separated. It's like Kevin Bacon. They're all pretty much here. Just get connected to them. Chris, you just said, pretty sure that as a business organization within Google Workspace, anything you put into it is secured, meaning the information we provide is not used to train the model. That is one risk we take with using ChatGPT. Anything we put in is used to teach it and can't control what happens next. Nick may understand this more directly. Yeah, I mean, it depends on probably the restrictions, the privacy, and you can see privacy settings within Gemini at the bottom of the screen if you're messing around with it. But bottom line, I encourage you guys to start playing with it. It will be very, very, very important. In franchising, it's almost a joke. We're always like 10 years behind on execution of new ideas. Go ahead and get to use on this. Can I use AI and link it with geofencing tools for better audience reach? Absolutely. That is absolutely something that you want to do. And Richard, I know we have a call next week. We'll discuss that. But again, this is me not being an expert, me being very curious, me trying to simplify, speeding up posting and giving you guys a tool, and me giving you guys some additional resources that you can hopefully take back to your franchise brands. Reach out. You can ask AI Nick. I should have had AI Nick do coffee and analytics, period. Maybe I am not real. Think about that. It's kind of creepy. I am real. I'm here. I'm here for you. I'm here for franchising. Thanks for watching. Talked way too much, but that's AI and leveraging it to impact your content marketing. Have a great weekend.